Picture this, Birmingham, 1919. The smoke of industry chokes the sky, and the shadow of the Great War still looms heavy. This isn't a city of heroes, but of survivors, scratching out a living in the industrial rubble. It's here, amidst the grime and desperation, that the Shelby family rises. A tightly knit Romany Irish clan, they're not just a family, they're the Peaky Blinders, a street gang with razor blades sewn into their cap peaks, hence the name. They deal in illegal betting, protection, and whatever else keeps the family fed, feared, and on top. Their leader, Tommy Shelby, just back from the trenches, is a man forever changed, his mind a steel trap of ambition and trauma. The story ignites when the Peaky Blinders accidentally steal a consignment of military weapons meant for export. It's a game changer, but also a massive liability. This isn't just a few pistols, it's an arsenal. Their actions immediately draw the unwanted attention of Chief Inspector Chester Campbell, a ruthless detective dispatched from Belfast by Winston Churchill himself, with a singular mission: recover those guns, whatever the cost. Campbell is a formidable adversary, unburdened by local loyalties, and utterly determined to crush the Peaky Blinders. This isn't just about crime anymore, it's a national security issue, and Tommy finds himself caught between a rock and a very hard place. To infiltrate Tommy's world, Campbell plants an undercover agent, Grace Burgess, a beautiful and enigmatic barmaid at the Garrison, the Shelby family's pub. Grace is smart, resilient, and quickly earns Tommy's trust, and more crucially, his affection. He's drawn to her, a rare light in his dark existence. But as their bond deepens, so does the conflict within Grace. She's falling for Tommy, yet her mission demands betrayal. The tension builds as she gets closer to the truth about the guns, all while Tommy, ever the master manipulator, begins to suspect there's more to her than meets the eye. It's a classic dance of love and deception, with incredibly high stakes. Beyond the stolen guns, the Peaky Blinders are battling for control of Birmingham's underworld against Billy Kimber, a powerful, established gang leader who runs the legal racecourses. Tommy, fueled by ambition and a strategic mind, sees an opportunity to expand his family's influence beyond the back alleys. He wants legitimate betting licenses, control, and respect. This means direct confrontation with Kimber, and it's a brutal, dangerous game. Tommy has to outwit not just Campbell, but also rival gangs, constantly balancing his family's safety with his relentless pursuit of power. The family, led by the matriarch Polly Gray and hot-headed Arthur, often clashes with Tommy's cold calculations. The season culminates in a violent showdown. Grace reveals the location of the stolen guns to Campbell, believing she's done her duty, but not before confessing her love to Tommy. Meanwhile, Tommy orchestrates a daring plan to ambush Billy Kimber's forces at a racecourse, knowing he has to assert dominance to survive. It's a chaotic, bloody street battle where loyalties are tested and lives are lost. Tommy, wounded but triumphant, kills Kimber, solidifying the Peaky Blinders' position as Birmingham's undisputed top gang. Grace, having completed her mission, departs, leaving Tommy with a complicated mixture of victory and heartbreak. The Peaky Blinders have won a battle, but the war for legitimacy and peace is far from over. With Birmingham under their thumb, Tommy's ambition turns to London. He aims to expand the Shelby empire, securing lucrative betting licenses and challenging the established criminal order. This immediately puts him in conflict with two formidable London gangs, the Jewish gang led by the unpredictable Alfie Solomons and the Italian gang led by the ruthless Darby Sabini. Tommy has to navigate a brutal, unfamiliar landscape, making uneasy alliances and fighting for every inch of territory. He's playing a much bigger game now, and the stakes are exponentially higher, demanding even greater cunning and ruthlessness than before. He even finds himself entangled with the crown and political figures, as usual. As Tommy's London ventures escalate, he's also forced into an even deeper, more dangerous game by Inspector Campbell. Blackmailed into assassinating a high-ranking British military official, Tommy finds himself a reluctant pawn in a sinister political plot involving the Irish Republican Army. This isn't just about street fights anymore, it's about international espionage and political assassination. The pressure on Tommy is immense, and the cost to his family and his soul becomes increasingly apparent. His personal relationships are strained, especially with Polly, who seeks answers about her long-lost son, Michael, bringing a deeply personal layer to the Shelby struggles. Polly Gray, the formidable matriarch, finally reunites with her son, Michael, who was taken from her years ago. His introduction into the family business is a pivotal moment. Initially, he's an outsider, a country boy, but he quickly adapts, showing a surprising aptitude for numbers and the criminal enterprise. Michael becomes a potential successor, but his loyalty and moral compass are constantly tested. He's caught between his mother's desire for a better life for him and Tommy's ruthless ambition. This dynamic adds a fresh layer of internal tension, as the family struggles to integrate someone with a different background into their cutthroat world. Amidst the chaos, Grace returns, and Tommy, despite his past reservations, marries her. Their wedding marks a moment of fleeting happiness and a potential for a new, legitimate life for Tommy. However, peace is a fragile commodity in the Shelby world. On their wedding night, tragedy strikes. Grace is fatally shot by an assassin sent by the Shangretta family, an Italian-American mafia determined to take revenge on Tommy for past transgressions. This devastating loss shatters Tommy, plunging him into a profound grief that will forever change him, driving him deeper into his darkness and hardening his resolve for vengeance. It's a turning point, marking the end of any true hope for a normal life. Consumed by grief and a thirst for revenge, Tommy becomes embroiled in an even more dangerous plot, a conspiracy involving Russian aristocrats, a heist of jewels, and the British Secret Intelligence Service. The Shelbys are tasked with stealing precious jewels, but they find themselves caught between feuding Russian factions and the intelligence services, with betrayal lurking at every turn. Tommy uses this as a distraction, a way to channel his grief, but it brings the family to the brink. They suffer immense losses and realize just how deep the rabbit hole of political intrigue goes, exposing them to enemies far more powerful than any street gang. It's a truly high-stakes gamble for the entire Shelby empire. The Shangretta family, led by the ruthless Luca Shangretta, arrives from New York seeking a blood vendetta against the Shelbys. They systematically target each family member, starting with a brutal attack on Arthur. John Shelby, Tommy's younger brother, is killed in a shocking ambush, a devastating blow that rocks the family to its core. This forces Tommy to rally his forces, engaging in a full-scale war against the Italian-American mafia. It's a fight for survival, for the very existence of the Peaky Blinders. The Shelbys are pushed to their limits, realizing that their past actions have consequences that span continents, and that no one is truly safe. Tommy must employ every trick and alliance to save his family. Against the backdrop of the Shangretta War, Tommy makes a surprising move. He enters politics, running for and winning a seat as a Labour Member of Parliament for Birmingham. This isn't a change of heart, but a strategic power play, aiming for legitimate influence and a deeper reach into the establishment. His political career, however, immediately thrusts him into a world even more treacherous than the streets. He confronts new ideological enemies, particularly the charismatic and sinister fascist leader, Oswald Mosley. Tommy, now straddling two worlds, must navigate the political arena while still maintaining control of his criminal empire, a dangerous balancing act. The 1930s dawn, bringing with it the specter of fascism. Tommy finds himself directly opposing Oswald Mosley, a real historical figure whose rhetoric of hate and division threatens the very fabric of society. Tommy's involvement is complex. He initially tries to use Mosley for his own ends, feeding information to the government, but soon realizes the true danger Mosley poses. He orchestrates an assassination attempt against Mosley, a meticulously planned operation that, tragically, goes awry. This failure deeply impacts Tommy, making him question his own judgment and sanity, plunging him into a period of psychological turmoil and paranoia, as he wonders who betrayed him. The aftermath of the failed assassination brings immense heartbreak. The IRA, seeking to punish Tommy for his actions, brutally murders Polly Gray, the heart and soul of the Shelby family. Her death leaves an irreplaceable void and fuels Tommy's rage. Michael, Polly's son, blames Tommy for his mother's death and vows revenge, moving to Boston to establish his own criminal empire, explicitly against Tommy's wishes. This sets up a bitter family feud, with Michael seeing himself as the true successor and Tommy as a destructive force. The deep emotional cost of Tommy's ambition is laid bare, creating a schism that threatens to tear the family apart for good. Tommy attempts to expand his opium trade to Boston, entering a dangerous alliance with the formidable Jack Nelson, a powerful American gangster. This venture brings him into direct conflict with Michael, who is now working for Nelson and actively trying to sabotage Tommy's plans. The rivalry between Tommy and Michael intensifies, becoming a proxy war for control of the family's future. Tommy grapples with new challenges, including Lizzie's increasing discomfort with their criminal life and his own deteriorating mental state. He's trying to secure a future for his family, but the past keeps dragging him back into the shadows, and the lines between right and wrong blur even further. A critical turning point occurs when Tommy receives a devastating diagnosis. He has an inoperable brain tumor, with only a short time left to live. This revelation profoundly impacts him, causing him to re-evaluate his life and legacy. He begins to settle his affairs, making arrangements for his family and preparing for his inevitable end. The doctor who delivers this news seems compassionate, guiding Tommy through his final months. It's a period of deep introspection and quiet resignation for the man who once seemed invincible. This supposed terminal illness frames his final actions, giving them a tragic urgency, and shaping his approach to his remaining enemies. Tommy journeys to Canada to finalize his opium deal and confront Michael. He orchestrates a meeting, setting a trap that Michael, blinded by hatred and ambition, walks right into. Tommy ensures Michael is eliminated, finally avenging Polly's death and solidifying his control. But the true twist comes when he realizes his terminal illness was a cruel deception, a psychological manipulation orchestrated by none other than Mosley and his conspirators to drive him to suicide. The doctor was a pawn. Tommy, understanding the depth of the betrayal, confronts the corrupt doctor, holding him at gunpoint. This revelation reignites his fighting spirit. Armed with the truth, Tommy sets fire to his old caravan, severing ties with his past life and the doctor who betrayed him. He is free, no longer bound by a terminal diagnosis, nor by the deep-seated guilt and trauma that plagued him for so long. The final shot sees him riding away on a white horse, a symbolic figure leaving his dark past behind. The Peaky Blinders saga ends not with a bang, but with a quiet, powerful moment of potential rebirth. Tommy Shelby, the man who built an empire from the ashes of war, now has a chance to forge a new path, free from the ghosts of his past. What that path will be, however, is left to our imagination.